Hi guys, this is Shadia and this is my friend Maria.
Hello, hello.
This is my first ever YouTube video and I thought it would be great to talk about our San Diego Comic-Con 2019 experience because it's been such a great year and it was the 50th anniversary. The request from my other friends saying, oh, just make like a YouTube video about like your best highlights. I was like, yeah, why not? That would be a perfect time to start off this channel. Maria, so you've been going to Comic-Con for many years now. Right?
Just a few, yeah.
Just a few. What year was this, the 50th anniversary?
This was my 15th year.
And this was my 5th year, so I'm
okay,
still...
got some round numbers going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did our day start? Like Wednesday?
Yeah, I haven't had preview night in a while, so for anyone that's not familiar, you can get up to 4 days at Comic-Con, 4 official days, Thursday through Sunday, and there's also one more day, which is preview night. It was really exciting to have that for my 15th year, to go back and be able to experience all the days of the con and be able to go into the exhibit hall and really see everything before everyone else comes in. But my day on Wednesday actually started around 6 a.m. Super early, I don't usually do that, but we had tickets to Conan. That was fun.
That's amazing. Yeah. He's been like shooting, he's been taping his shows, what, for like 4 years now?
I think this is his 5th year too, actually. For anyone that's never done Conan, you really do have to get up early. You have to actually show up just to get your own ticket and a wristband. Get there in line. You're already excited, the anticipation is growing, and then they send you away to come back at a later time to actually come in to another line to get back into the theater to watch the show happen. So that's how my con was going to start, and it was actually a really fun one. But it was a good taping. Yeah.
Day one, check.
Day one. And I already got some shopping in on that day, which that was a mistake.
So my first day, Wednesday,
yeah.
So I did kind of 2 and 2. I had volunteer access and badges for, I think, Thursday and Sunday. If you volunteer ahead of the con, you get like a complimentary badge for any of the days at Comic-Con. Being a volunteer is such a great experience too because you feel like you're part of the con itself.
I want to do it. In all the years I've been going, I haven't.
You haven't done that?
No,
It's always fun. I feel like so
Yeah.
official. And they give you like an official volunteer t-shirt as well. So that's nice. That was kind of my Wednesday. And then I kind of ended my day around like 4 because I was like, okay, I gotta get ready for tomorrow. Because for Thursday, I also had Conan tickets.
And I got invited. So I did Conan 2 days in a row.
For Conan, that was my first time. I've been trying for like 3 years and I was never lucky to get tickets. And then I finally was one of the like lucky few that got the lottery for Thursday.
That was
like,
amazing.
yes. And for that one, it was a surprise special guest.
Well, you have to actually also explain the mini panic that happened when you got the email confirmation that you had tickets.
So I made this account on IOTA where that's where you request the tickets for Conan and any other free tapings for different live taping shows. I just made an account. I did my first name and I just did a random nickname as my last name, and then I kind of messed up on my year. So I did my birthday, my month, birth, and then the year. I was like, I'm a year older. Yeah. And when I got the ticket, and it said your ID and your ticket had to be equally the same, and I was like, oh shit.
And this is after she was like, do you want to go to Conan? You're fully invited. I was like, great. And then
this is me, yeah.
Well, maybe not.
I emailed them, they got back to me. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna not go to Conan? But they're like, oh, just send us your information. Within like 20-30 minutes, they got it all under control. I was like, I can prove my identity. But we were able to get really good orchestra seats, which was front row basically.
The balcony is trash. It is so hot up there. Okay, not the actual theater, but the balcony is just, it's a very hot experience. When you go up there and you look down from your seat, it just seems like the steepest fall. So you can certainly get up there, you'll see everything.
That was basically my full day of like Thursday, just waiting in line.
Yeah.
Who was our special surprise guest?
It was Tom Cruise. It wasn't even a surprise for us, unfortunately.
Because the security guard kind of like gave it away.
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. He's like, we're not haters of Tom Cruise. It's just like, I've seen him like many times here and there, and I'm like, yeah, we saw the trailer, and I was like, do I really want to see him? But they had he had like a lot of surprise other guests too, right? Bram Stark was sitting in the audience.
No, just doing his Bram stare. It was
staring.
great.
And we're just like, he's literally sitting right there. And then the cast of The Walking Dead appeared with their actual costume uniform that they wear on the show. Conan was really fun. What did we do afterwards?
I think I tried to eat. What did we do? It really is still a blur when I think of everything.
Did you try going to Hall H?
Actually I did. But yeah, after Conan walked over to the convention center, got a chance to attend the great debate in Ballroom 20 with Aisha Tyler and a great group of panelists were asking questions, kind of controversial, nerdy fandom questions, like is it better for a show to have maybe a limited amount of seasons but still be great, or should a great show continue on and maybe jump the shark eventually? We all agreed it's better to just kind of have a short run with a really great series. Yeah. And after that, went to Hall H, was able to get in.
Got in for that?
Saw Lin-Manuel Miranda. Got a little freebie from HBO. So yeah, that was a good full day. And then after that, then I ate. Then just prepare for the next day again.
Yeah, that was kind of, it took up majority of our day, right? And then I had like a little kickoff party that I attend to for Den of Geeks. For those of you that I'm sure you don't know. I also am a contributing writer to that site, so I got access to going to their little kickoff party that they do. This is their second year, I believe. So that was kind of nice, mingling with a lot of like the staff editors, staff writers, editor-in-chief, and just really hanging out with other TV journalists that cover the con every year, and seeing all my Twitter friends. It was fun, and I was exhausted Thursday night. I was like, it's only Thursday.
It looked good.
It looked
I
good,
was
right?
on your IG stories.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, that is a nice hotel.
It was like in the courtyard too, and I was like, okay.
Nice.
Which we'll get into now. Friday,
busy. Yeah,
really
Friday
busy.
was busy, and I already had my Friday planned out a couple weeks in advance because we were pretty sure something was going to go down in Hall H on Saturday. Anyone that is even slightly familiar with Comic-Con, you know Hall H. Yeah. But I already knew that I was going to have to get in line pretty early on Friday to be able to get into Hall H on Saturday.
Next day. Not even Friday,
yeah. We knew that we were going to have a line shift starting at 2 p.m. that day. And this is to get wristbands around 9 o'clock that night. So we said, okay, great, we have the morning basically to kind of do what we'd like to do. So we actually went to the Indigo Ballroom and checked out some animation panels. Yeah, so you have Rick and Morty, Robot Chicken, Bob's Burgers, Archer, typically all in the same room. It's just a nice kind of chill vibe. It's a little bit smaller than Ballroom 20. And right from there, we went directly into the line.
For the next day. And then that's a whole other story. What happened at midnight? You're going to tell that story.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about your day.
Okay. So for the past years, Saturdays are always my days where I dedicated to Ballroom 20, which is the second most largest venue hall that they have for Comic-Con. And that's where they have all the DC shows. I'm a big fan of Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends, all that. As if like most of you may know, it was Arrow's final season, so it was their final Comic-Con panel, and I love Arrow. Like I love Stephen Amell. Like since the get-go from the beginning, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Your tweet.
Yes. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. So for that one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like not do Hall H with you guys. And for Friday, I didn't do the whole waiting in line for a wristband and all that with them, but I went into Ballroom 20, part 1 of it, for the screening and the QA for Veronica Mars. It wasn't too bad. They screened the premiere and they announced that they were dropping the whole season 4 on Hulu that day, and everyone was like, yeah, but we're like, no, we're still at Comic-Con, we can't watch it.
I was in line in Hall H. I was like, oh my god.
I was like, no. We saw the premiere. I was like, please don't spoil anything.
Yeah.
After that, I didn't really stay too long. Oh, I tried to get to Hall H.
Oh no. What is the lesson you learned?
Never leave the line.
Don't leave the line.
Never leave the line. Because on Friday, it was also Game of Thrones' final panel.
Yeah.
After the writers dropped out, which I thought was, you guys are scared of us. And I was assuming, okay, it's not going to be that crazy. Also back to back with like The Witcher and
Dark Crystal.
So there was a lot of people waiting for that. On second to last was Game of Thrones and then Preacher. So I got in line around like 2 p.m.-ish, and the Game of Thrones panel was at 5. So I was waiting. I was like, am I going to get in? It was getting close to like 5. I think the panel was 5:30. No one was leaving the room after Dark Crystal. And I was like, dang it, I'm not going to get in. And then 5:30-ish hit, and I was like, there's no use.
But you had a good time, though.
I did. 3.5 hours. And I had to pee. I just lost so much hope because it was like 5:30, and I was like, I don't want to go in mid once it started. So my ass got up and walked out. I was like, I'm not going to get in. Yeah. As I'm walking to go back to the convention center, everyone is like, woo! I turned around, and the girl that was in the back of me and the Hall H line was cheering on because they were getting in to Hall H for the Game of Thrones panel. And I was like, oh. It's like, no. But I was really sad. I was like, never do this again, Shadia. Like, never. But I heard it wasn't that great of a panel.
That's what I heard too, actually.
So I was like, that's okay. So yeah, that was my Friday. And then, but your Friday night continues, so let's go into detail of that.
So I've gone into Hall H before, and in the 15 years I've been going to Comic-Con, I've seen how it's grown. I remember the first year Twilight was there, and I think that's really when
the biggest,
it just exploded into what it is now. I've done my time. I slept on that concrete. But I understand what you need to do to get into Hall H, and I was fully prepared to do that again this year because I really wanted to get into the Marvel panel.
And it looked big. It was 90 minutes, and it was hyped.
Yeah. Yeah, they hadn't been there in a minute. Well, as I said, I was in line at 2 p.m. I did a 3-hour shift, but I was fully committed to just stick it out with the group that came after and just kind of strategize, like, okay, we're going to get the wristbands at this time based on where we are in the line.
So the blinky blinkies come out,
oh,
right?
Man, 8:45 hits, and they were really on time.
So they're
affectionately called the Blinky Blinks. These really lovely security and volunteer personnel would come out wearing these vests. They're blinking, they're lit up, so you can definitely pick them out of a crowd. And where I was in line, I was told by someone earlier in the day, oh, you're definitely getting a wristband, and you're probably like 12 to 1,500 deep. We figured, yeah, we're totally fine. 8:45 hits, and we're kind of just tracking the progress of the wristbands. You have to understand the wristbands only go from letters A to D. And so this tiny little section up in the front, they were already out of A. So I'm getting a little nervous depending on where I'm at, because what we noticed is that there were these huge line swells at different pockets. The rule that one person in line can hold a spot for up to 5 people.
And I think that was the problem too, because everyone's like,
definitely.
oh, I'm holding for 20 people, 15, and that
For sure.
adds up.
Then another tiny little section gets through letter B. I'm thinking, well, that's definitely 1,500 gone, so that's not where I'm at in line anymore. It's a little stressful, but they did get to us, and we were mid-C. So we got our wristband. It was all good, but there was a moment, and
1,000 people cut the line.
It was
There's a lot of
just-
line cutters, and
for
like,
sure.
people are like, you need to report them. They're not supposed to be here, and that's unfair too, because it's like you've been waiting all those hours, and people all of a sudden say, hey, I'm gonna try to get into Hall H, and it's like, nope, the line is that way.
I'm not about snitching.
Snitch is good.
I didn't do this. I just want to make that clear. But some people did say, hey, I really don't recognize that person, and they are not with anyone else. People got called out real quick. There is a community there, and people really do.
It's strong.
Yeah, so if you recognize your neighbor, people were very quick to say, I've been next to this person since 6 a.m., but not this person. So security took that really seriously, and they were kicking people out left and right, which is kind of crazy. After I got my wristband, I went to House of Blues and watched Questlove.
Because you had the whole Disney
at 11.
disco night, right?
I got my wristband at 11. I was like, you know what? I paid for the ticket. I want to see Questlove. So I did. I went and saw Questlove, and I could fully enjoy it because I had my wristbands.
For me, I think it was around like 8. I was like, okay, time to go. Oh my gosh, the exhaustion that you feel after every day, the walking, the waiting in line, the security yelling, no, you have to have your badges out. There's just so many people and like lines. It gets really exhausting. Saturday was the busiest day, so I was like, okay, let me go and see for like 4 hours. Friday kind of like, it didn't end too late for me, but I got home in time.
It ended late for me.
Yeah. And then Saturday morning comes. What time did you get there on Saturday?
I got there at 6 o'clock. Got home maybe like around 1:30. So actually one of the security guards did tell me the night before, I do recommend getting here at 5 a.m. Actually, he said 5. And then I looked him dead in the eye and I said a.m. Typically the rule is just be there before 7:30, but he said, just based on the popularity of the Marvel panel, people are going to rush and get here, and just given traffic and logistics, it's better the earlier you get here and get in line, the easier it's going to be for everybody. So I got there at 6. That was my compromise. I could not do 5.
I couldn't wake up in the morning. I was so tired. I got there around like 7:30, 7 o'clock-ish, just to get in line for the DC day for like Arrow and all that stuff. And I got pretty good seats. I had a friend of mine that was early. She kind of came super early for the everything else. So she was up on the front, and then when she got into the room, when we all got into the room, she kind of saved me a seat. She's like, I'm here. I'm like, yes.
Make friends at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and like she writes for a different site, and I used to write for that one too. So I was like, oh my god, we're meeting each other face to face.
Awesome.
That kicked off my whole day, and being in Baldwin Trinity from like 9:30 a.m. to like 6 p.m. at night. It was a whole day thing, going back and forth, eating wild nachos. Baldwin Trinity is always nice on Saturdays because they start off with all the animations. So they had American Dad, Family Guy, Simpsons, and Seth MacFarlane came for Family Guy, so it was really cool. But I was like, oh my god, I'm ready for my DC shows. I think the first one out of all the DC shows that started off the craziness of DC TV at Baldwin 20 was Arrow. And oh my gosh, that
started it?
Yes,
Oh
it
man.
started it. So for Arrow panel, panel. It was a really emotional one because everyone at the panel was kind of just talking about their overview experience of being a part of the show for so long, especially with Dana Ramsey, who plays Diggle on the show. And then Steven is such a genuine person. Like the fact that he loves the show so much, he was like the heart of the show, and he started his legacy with building all these other shows to come up after him. For the Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, it all started with Arrow, you know. And now that chapter is ending, you're like, oh my gosh, like the OG is gonna be gone. Yeah, he's kind of like a little teddy bear. He's tearing up. We're like, no, Steven. He's like, this panel sucks. No, I love you. They just said some really sweet things. So I think that was such a great moment, and just capturing the the love they all have for each other as a cast was really great. I loved it. I was like, I felt really bad for missing Marvel, but then I was like,
okay.
Arrow, he's not gonna be here anymore.
It's the last one.
I know.
Yeah.
It was so great. And then I think after that it was, dang it, I don't know if it was Black Panther or Supergirl, either one, or Black Lightning was really great. And then with Supergirl was a nice bigger panel too, because they added on all the different other characters on the show.
Sorry, right. You got this. Thank you. Anyone that's ever been in Hall H, you might know the name Mr. Eddie Ibrahim. Amazing person. I believe his title is Program Director of Comic-Con. So he'll come out typically when you go into Hall H and he'll say, I know you've slept outside. We love your, how big of a fan you are. Welcome to Hall H. Do your thing, right? So he came out once, and that's usually it, right? That's when you know, okay, Eddie's out here, so we're totally set. And then he went off stage. And then, a second later, he came back. He's like, "Oh, sorry, false alarm." And we were like, "Eddie, no, please don't do this." So he tried to set it up again. He's like, "Sorry, I thought they were ready, but they're not ready yet." Okay. Then he did that again, and at that point, we were like, "Eddie, please!" I can't. I've been waiting literally a day for and just in line.
Everyone's like, "Hype!" Yeah. What did they chant anything before it was coming?
Yeah, people started chanting Marvel, Marvel. Yeah, and then Eddie. Eddie's cool, man. I want his job. That sounds really cool. So yeah, after they got everything done, the lights went down, and they presented a really cool, just kind of look back at the MCU, the previous phase that we were just in. Just a little goodbye, a little love you 3000 to our Avengers and the previous characters that we had. Mr. Kevin Feige came out. It's kind of honestly, didn't even give us a full.
No, when I was in Ball I was like, oh my god, news after news after news. I was like, what is going on? How did he transition to the next thing?
Barely.
He's like, well,
no, honestly, it was fast and just quick. He came out, and then was like, y'all ready for Phase 4? And then just unleashed it. It was crazy.
Like, here you go, guys.
Yeah. So they brought up the timeline, and the timeline initially was blank. It said just untitled project, but it gave the time of year that they were going to come out, and then that's how he started unveiling things, and then started kind of placing them on the timeline as he went. But with each project that came out, it was like a quick little title card, maybe nothing really too crazy. We really only got footage from the Black Widow movie. And then just the actors came out one after another. And then
I think the biggest reveal that I was even when I wasn't even there, I was like, oh my god, was Mahershala Ali, Blade.
Oh man! Oh, that came at the very, very end when we had already had our minds blown, and we were just sitting there like, I don't know what's happening anymore. And we knew that we were getting to the end of the line, right? So all the projects, the timeline had been filled out completely. Got a little teaser. I haven't even had time to talk about the mutants, and I haven't had time to talk about Fantastic Four, which made everyone lose their minds. Yeah, and then Mr. Kevin Feige just goes, I have one more person to introduce to you, and it was Blade. But we didn't get the title card for Blade, we just got the hat. Who knows what he puts on the hat? And everyone's everyone's cheering and losing their minds, but not really sure why yet. Because I'm looking at this from a screen. I'm nowhere near the front.
His face too.
Yeah.
So happy.
Yeah. He puts the hat on, we're like, what is it? And I thought I saw Blade, but just the way that the title is designed, I couldn't tell. And then finally the title card came up on the screen, and everyone again was just screaming.
It would be great. I think it would be great for it too.
Yeah, that was definitely the coolest thing.
Age, man. Next year, hopefully. That's my thing. I'll be there next year, Kevin.
I'll see you then. And then I stayed in there for Kevin Smith.
I kind of went in a little bit for because I was gonna meet up with you too, and then we had Melissa Benoist too, and
from Supergirl. Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm tired. I'm always this con. The 5th anniversary was just so much happening. I was just so exhausted. I was like, oh, I can't feel my legs. And I was so hungry. The only thing I had was nachos and my snacks that I had throughout the day. Saturday, got a Gaslamp quarter was crazy intense. It was like a herd of people everywhere, offsites, tourists, Comic-Con attendees. And I'm so tired. And then Sunday came around. Sunday was pretty chill. Me, I kind of slept in a little bit, and then I went to, because I wanted to go into the Supernatural panel, which was also their final panel, which was also emotional. Because it's like 15 years wrapping up. Like, Jensen and Jared were just getting so emotional. I was like, oh my god, I love y'all. It's crazy how, like, that's ending and then Arrow's ending. Basically, for me, if you ask me, it was basically going to farewell seasons and crying with the cast members, because The Good Place, I missed that one, but that was an emotional panel to the final one.